Today's video is brought to you by Expert Rating. More about them in a minute. In a competitive job market of many qualified candidates, why does a hiring manager choose one over another? Why is one candidate a Mercedes-Benz and all the rest are Honda Civics? Mercedes-Benz knows its unique value proposition. Do you? In this video, I have 6 tips for you to create your unique value proposition so you can stand out on job interviews. So grab a snack, boil up some coffee, keep it right here. You don't want to miss any of this. What's up, you guys? Darren DeLuca here. Welcome to the Ramblin' Recruiter, the channel that's dedicated to helping you find the job of your dreams and make the most of your career. I've been a recruiter for nearly 2 decades now, and in that time, I've learned a thing or two about hiring and getting hired. Now I'm here to bring that information to you. If that sounds good, subscribe and click the bell to enable notifications so you'll never miss anything again. It's really important that you click the bell and hit enable all notifications. Since YouTube changed up the home screen layout, a lot of my subscribers are telling me they're not getting my videos in their feed anymore. Links to everything we're talking about today will be down below in the description. I've also put some links to my tech down there, so go ahead and check those out when you get a chance. Links to some of my merch is down below in the description as well. If you're interested in purchasing any of that, I'll put a 10% off promo code on screen towards the end of the video, so make sure you watch till the end. Who wouldn't want this face on a t-shirt or a mug? Hey, it's almost the holidays. Ramblin' Recruiter gear makes a great gift. Lastly, this is a totally viewer-supported channel. I'm not selling anything. I don't have a masterclass or a mastermind. I'm not trying to get you into a sales funnel. So I greatly appreciate any and all support to help keep the channel in business. You'll find links to my PayPal and Patreon sites below in the description. My Patreon supporters get one-on-one job search coaching with me. That being said, let's get into it, shall we? In a world of Honda Civics, how do you become a Mercedes-Benz? How do you stand out from the crowd? How do you look different from the 100 other candidates whose resumes are very similar to yours and whose qualifications are very similar to yours? Let's face it, both a Honda Civic and a Mercedes-Benz will get you from point A to point B. Both are made by companies that have good reputations for durability and reliability. So what makes that Mercedes special? I'd argue it's because Mercedes knows its unique value proposition. And when you boil it all down, what is Mercedes' slogan? The best or nothing. How do you become the best? Customers know that when you buy a Mercedes-Benz, you're not just getting a luxury car, but you are. You're also joining an exclusive club. So how do you, as the candidate, put that same sentiment out there for the hiring manager? How do you get the hiring manager to see hiring you as joining an exclusive club for a luxury item? Your role as a job seeker and interview candidate is to make yourself a Mercedes-Benz. Now, recent grads and people just getting started off in their careers take special note of this. Competition at your level of the market is enormous, and everybody's got great education. Everybody's summer internships are great. How do you stand out? You stand out by creating a very clear, distinct, unique value proposition. What makes you, you, and what makes you better than everybody else? Now, I've got 6 tips on how to create this value proposition, which we'll get into in a minute. But before we do, go ahead and smash that like button and leave me a comment below. It's very helpful for the YouTube algorithm. When you, the audience, are engaged, it helps me out a lot, so thanks for that. Follow these 6 tips and you'll ensure that in a world full of Mazda Miatas, you are a Ferrari. Do this in writing before you go on those job interviews so you've got it down and you know it perfectly before it counts. Today's video is brought to you by Expert Rating. Investing in yourself is the smartest investment you can make, and with a highly regarded and very affordable professional certification from Expert Rating, you'll be that much closer to the job of your dreams and making the most of your career. Nearly 3 million people have received professional certifications from Expert Rating in diverse and in-demand fields, such as IT, business, fitness, entrepreneurship, education, and everything in between. Distinguish yourself from the crowd. Use the link on screen now, also below in the description, to activate a limited time discount. Tip number 1, identify your target audience. Now, before you can create a unique value proposition, you've got to identify who the audience of that value proposition is. If I was a senior accountant and I'm going to be applying for senior accountant or accounting manager jobs, then my target audience might be controllers and CFOs and maybe even accounting managers of other companies. And I'll want to tailor that message specifically for them. Identify your target audience. Tip number 2, explain the problem that you solve. Remember, people don't buy drills, they buy holes. People don't buy tools, they buy a solution to a problem. So make sure that you've clearly identified the problem that it is that you solve. Using that same senior accountant example, what problems might a finance department be facing that I, as a senior accountant, could make easier for them? Tip number 3, list your biggest distinctive benefits. What are the 3 to 5 things that you do that are better than anybody else out there? Now, this actually serves a dual purpose, because when you're interviewing and you're confronted with the question, why should I hire you? Well, guess what? This is going to help provide you ammunition for that question as well. But again, thinking back to that senior accountant example, what 3 to 5 things do you do that are better than any of the other senior accountants out there? What are your distinct benefits? Tip number 4, define your promise. Now, when you're interviewing, you don't have to actually write down on a piece of paper to a hiring manager, I promise to do X, Y, Z, and A, B, and C. But as you are explaining the problems that you're solving for them, you are making a promise. So what is it that you promise to do that's going to be better than anybody else? Maybe your promise would be to shave 2 to 3 days off the month-end closing process. Maybe it would be to ensure 100% accuracy in the financial statements. Maybe it would be to help the company better understand its cash position because you've streamlined the bank reconciliation process. Whatever that promise is, make sure that it's clearly defined and articulated. Tip number 5, condense and refine. Take everything you've done in steps 1 through 4 thus far and condense it down to one single paragraph. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Darren, this sounds a lot like the exercise you had us go through when we created elevator pitches, which, if by the way you need a refresher on, I'll link to that video up here. Yes, you are correct. It is a similar process. Remember, your elevator pitch is a short 30-second story about you that you want to tell somebody if you have very little time, just to get them to remember you. Your unique value proposition will end up at 1 sentence, which you'll see here in a second. Step 6, condense and synthesize. Take that one single paragraph that you ended up with in step 5, now condense it down to a single sentence. Get to the very essence and the very heart of the matter. You should be starting to end up with something that sounds very similar to Mercedes-Benz's unique value proposition, the best or nothing. One single high-impact sentence. Powerful, isn't it? By thoughtfully completing this exercise, you're going to seriously up your game when it comes to job interviews. But I guarantee your resume gets better too. As you start to incorporate more elements of your elevator pitch and your unique value proposition into your resume, high impact action verbs, value statements, like your elevator pitch and like your unique value proposition, you're going to find that that resume looks a lot better. So you've upped your interview game, you've upped your resume game, you're that much closer to the job of your dreams and making the most of your career. Now, as you go through this exercise, I'd love it if everybody who does could leave a comment below with their 1 sentence unique value proposition. If enough people do that, this will become the internet's definitive source for unique value propositions and help a lot of other job seekers in the future kind of kickstart their own process. Hey, if you haven't already done so, now would be a great time to give that like button a gentle tap, and please consider becoming a supporter of the channel via PayPal or Patreon. Links are below in the description. Why don't you take a look at the video down below here? That's the one that YouTube thinks you're gonna like the best. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe, click the bell to enable notifications so you don't miss anything again. I will see you next time. Good luck with the rest of your job searching day, And stay classy, YouTube.